The first one is the most obvious one. The all-time most publicized and acclaimed Cinderella Team was Team USA, shocking the Soviet pros at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid. Remember that team of our amateurs, some of them on their way to playing in the NHL, but they played an exhibition game against said Soviets just before the Olympics at Madison Square Garden. They lost 10-3. 10-3? I've told this story before. I'll make it quick, but that Friday night, I'm there covering Winter Olympic sports, and I'm out of gas and out of options and out of ideas. So I asked the press liaison, you know, our guys are playing the Soviets tonight, just down the street, Lake Placid Arena. Any seats left for that one? He said, seats? I got a bunch of seats. Nobody wants to go because they think it's going to be an annihilation. I said, give me one. I'm going to go. I got nothing else. And you know the rest of the story. That was the semifinal. Obviously, they had to beat Finland after that night to win the gold, which they did. It's a great story. I was there in the front row. I experienced it. I feel blessed to have done that. But one that meant slightly more just to me occurred in 1983 at the Pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the Final Four. On that Final Four Saturday, I covered a semifinal game between what was called Phi Slamma Jamma, the University of Houston squad, against what was called the Doctors of Dunk from Louisville. And it was a flat-out NBA preview, and as you know, I'm a big NBA guy. It was up and down, right and left, dunk, bombs. It was just crazy NBA-style basketball, and I loved every last second of it. It was 94-81 Cougs. It was Olajuwon and Drexler and Michael Young, and Micho, Alvin Franklin, Benny Anders. It was something. What a show Phi Slamma Jamma put on that day. And I immediately wrote in my Dallas Times Herald column for the next day that it's over, that poor North Carolina State is going to get annihilated in the championship game on Monday night, that they should basically just call it off and award Phi Slamma Jamma the championship. I was there on Monday night, and what a sight to behold that was. An all-time Cinderella story. Jim Valvano's North Carolina State hung in, because there's no shot clock, hung in, kept the score down and close, and in the waning seconds, Derek Whittenberg shot an air ball with the score tied. Lorenzo Charles spotted it in the air, timed it perfectly. For some reason, Hakeem Olajuwon, as great as he was about to be in the NBA, sort of lost it in the lights, sort of lost his bearings, and Lorenzo Charles put it right in at the buzzer to win 54-52. Whew! I somehow value that Cinderella story a little even above the 80 Olympic hockey story, which brings me to my all-time favorite. This will probably surprise you, but there's a personal punchline to this one. 1960, Pittsburgh Pirates World Series. You should go look up the scores if you're interested, because you want to talk about Cinderella story. They're up against the biggest, baddest team ever. To me, you could argue this, but it's one of those Yankee teams. This was the 1960 Yankees, obviously featuring Mantle, Maris, Yogi Berra, Whitey Ford, Elston Howard, Tony Kubek, Bobby Richardson, Moose Skowron at first base. I wasn't a Yankee fan, but I was in awe. And if you look at the 3 games they won leading to Game 7, it was by a composite score of 38-3 that they won those 3 games. They won 16-3, 10-0, and 12-0. It was a mismatch, but somehow the Pittsburgh Pirates stole 3 games, 3 close, low-scoring games they stole. I don't know how they did it, but they did. I turn on the game just in time for the bottom of the 9th. And I look up and the score is 9-9. What? It's 9-9? Because I thought it would be another blowout for the Yankees. I wasn't even that interested. So I'm lying sick on my couch, and the leadoff batter in the bottom of the 9th is the little second baseman, Bill Mazeroski. He had homered 11 times that regular season. Not bad for a second baseman. He had some pop, but he's just a little second baseman. Ralph Terry winds, and he fires. And Bill Mazeroski jacks it over the left field fence, over the ivy in old Forbes Field, over Yogi Berra's head out in left field. I'd never seen anything like it. It just knocked me right off the couch. It's the single greatest shocking baseball moment to me in World Series history. And I was there for Kirk Gibson. I can go on and on. But this was against the 1960 Yankees. And seeing Yogi just look up over his head and have to stand there and watch the ball fly over the wall. The Bronx Bombers lost in the bottom of the 9th. That to me was the greatest Cinderella team story I ever saw. And I did see it. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.